Everyone thought that the live-in son-in-law of the Fang family was a coward, scolded by the cook, cuckolded by his wife, and treated like a dog by the whole family. But they didn't know that I had been reborn. A month later, the glacial apocalypse would descend, and 90% of the world's population would be frozen into ice sculptures. This time, I held back no longer. I flipped the dining table on the spot and beat my brother-in-law, who had cuckolded me, into a swollen mess. Didn't you all want me to get lost? Fine, I'm done waiting on you. If anyone wants to be this live-in son-in-law today, let them do it. No. I jolted awake from a nightmare, my body trembling wildly. It was a fear that froze straight to the bone marrow. I snapped my eyes open and stared fixedly at the ceiling, my gaze unfocused. Only after a long while did I realize I was lying on a small bed, though piled with clutter. It was warm enough. I rushed to the window. Outside was a sunlit beach, with girls laughing and playing around. Yet this ordinary scene sent a jolt through my whole body. Something was wrong. Hadn't I frozen to death? That memory surged up uncontrollably. In the brutal cold of -70 or 80 degrees, I was driven out of the house by my wife Fang Siyu's entire family. Before my consciousness faded, I heard her voice from behind the door. Mom, that damn dog should be dead by now, right? If we throw him into the fireplace, he can still burn as fuel for a while. Another old woman replied, Good. The Fang family raised him for so many years. It's time he repaid us. Those words were colder than the extreme frost and swallowed me completely. And now, I was alive again. The electronic clock by the bed read, July 19th, 2049. My eyes widened suddenly. On August 19th, 2049, the sun's temperature would plummet under the influence of cosmic rays, and Earth would enter a glacial apocalypse. 90% of the world's population would be frozen into ice sculptures within 3 months, while the remaining 10% would become petty tyrants, and all public order and morality would completely collapse. I had been reborn. I couldn't help but burst into loud laughter. In my previous life, I was forced to death as a live-in son-in-law by the Fang family. Even the heavens couldn't stand it and gave me a chance to punish these scum. Bang, bang, bang. Knocking pounded on the door. Are you sick or what? Laughing like an idiot this early in the morning. Are you trying to wake the young lady chairwoman? My face darkened. A mere cook dared to be so insolent to me. I pulled the door open, and outside stood a fat woman in a white cook's uniform, Sun Jinhua, one of the Fang family's cooks. Seeing me appear so suddenly, she jumped in fright. In the past, no matter how she cursed at me, I always remained meek and agreeable like a coward. This time was different. Feeling offended, she pointed at me and cursed. What are you laughing at? If you wake the chairwoman, you're going to suffer for it. I sneered inwardly. The apocalypse is coming in a month. Why would I be afraid of you? I've put up with enough humiliation over the years. Just as I was about to curse back, a thought suddenly flashed through my mind. Why bother arguing with trash like this? The top priority was to build an apocalypse fortress, and then lie comfortably inside it, watching these scum starve to death and turn on each other like dogs. Wouldn't that be even more satisfying? I reined in my temper, shot her a disdainful glance, and walked toward the dining table. Sun Jinhua was so startled by my look that her heart skipped a beat. She turned to grab my ear, only to see me sitting brazenly in the chairwoman's seat, eating the chairwoman's exclusive breakfast. Stop right there. How dare you eat the chairwoman's breakfast? Are you looking to die? Her fat face flushed red with rage. I let out a cold snort and finished the breakfast in just a few bites. The long-lost feeling of being full made me let out a satisfied belch. Just as I was about to speak, a mechanical voice sounded in my mind. Ding. Detected that the host has been reborn. Anger counter system binding in progress. Binding complete. Greetings, host. This system is online 24 hours a day and awaits your summons at any time. Simply call it silently in your heart. I was stunned for a moment, then overjoyed. The system. Cheat ability. I have one too. Rebirth plus a system. No one will ever bully or humiliate me again. I will become the king of this glacial apocalypse. I steadied myself and asked, System, what do you do? This system is the anger countermeasure system. By angering others, you can gain anger points and exchange them in the shop for a vast number of treasures. This is the system shop. Host, you may check it yourself. A huge light screen unfolded before my eyes, filled with a dazzling array of goods. Gold, Huai currency, cars, air conditioners, appliances. Further back were military items, guns, cannons, tanks, drones. At the very end, there were even epic-making things like the Luenbird fighter jet and aerospace mothership. Each item had a price listed after it. For example, Huai currency, 1 anger point for 100,000. Fireplace, 5 anger points. I browsed with my mind, and every single item was enticing. Suddenly, the light screen stopped. I stared at one of the items, infinite space, an infinitely large space. Placed in 4-dimensional space, activated by reciting silently. It can store anything, except living beings, and also has the effect of time stasis. Price, 1 billion anger points. My heart churned violently. If I had infinite space, filled it with supplies, and added a secure fortress, I could cruise through the glacial apocalypse. After all, no matter how big a house is, it can only hold so much. And things can still spoil, and I alone wouldn't be able to guard it. But a private infinite space has none of those concerns at all. However, 1 billion anger points was far too much. And my current anger points, 0. Just as I was feeling disappointed, the system notification sounded. Ding. A new user has been detected. A 1 yuan flash sale is now launched. On the light screen, the original price was crossed out in red and changed to 1. All the items on the same page turned into 1. My eyes lit up. 1 billion is hard to get, but 1 anger point? So easy. Wasn't this cook right in front of me here to deliver anger points? I came back to my senses. Only 3 seconds had passed. From Sun Jinhua's perspective, I had merely frozen for a moment, as if her scolding had stunned me. She was feeling smug when I looked up with a cold sneer. And under her baffled gaze, I yanked the tablecloth off the dining table in one pull. Crash! An entire table of sumptuous breakfast turned into trash on the floor. The strawberry cake looked like rotten vomit, and the caviar looked like little sheep droppings. Sun Jinhua finally reacted and was dumbfounded. She had spent the whole morning preparing this. The chairman and madam were about to come have breakfast, and there was no way there was enough time to remake it. As the head cook, she would definitely be harshly scolded and would lose her job too. Her legs went weak and she collapsed to the floor, wailing, "Ah, my breakfast. Gone, all gone." I watched her cry and howl, a surge of satisfaction rising in my heart. A mere cook dares to order me around. After crying and howling for a while, Sun Jinhua tried to save herself and glared at me angrily. "You conscienceless thing. You deliberately ruined the breakfast, trying to make the chairman and the young lady and madam go hungry. How can your heart be so vicious?" She wanted to push me out to take the bullet. At that moment, a voice sounded in my mind. Ding. You have angered Sun Jinhua and obtained 9 anger points. I already had 9 anger points, enough to buy infinite space. But I wasn't in a hurry to buy it. Instead, I looked at her disdainfully. "Sun Jinhua, I heard your breast milk business is booming. Who's been drinking it? Has the chairman drunk it?" I knew she had no culinary skills, yet she could become the head cook because she relied on that pair of ample breasts. She doesn't even have a baby, so where did the breast milk go? Wasn't it secretly drunk by certain members of the Fang family? As for whether there were extra services, hard to say. Those words struck her sore spot. If this reached the chairman's wife, given that woman's temperament, even if she didn't die, she'd still lose a layer of skin. Sun Jinhua was so furious she stamped her feet. "What nonsense are you spouting? Believe it or not, I'll tear your mouth apart." As she spoke, she raised her hand and lunged at me. She dared to hit me because Huai had never fought back before. The voice sounded in my mind again. Anger points plus 25. I coldly dodged her lunge and kicked her hard in her big butt. Sun Jinhua lost her balance and pitched forward onto the ground. Her face landed in the strawberry cake, looking especially ridiculous. Ding. Anger plus 15. It took her a long while to react, her face full of disbelief. I actually dared to fight back. She pushed up her fat body and screamed as she lunged at me again like a madwoman. I was just about to hit her with another vicious move when a cold shout suddenly rang out. "What are you doing? Are you trying to rebel?" Sun Jinhua immediately calmed down. The owner of the voice was the chairman of Tianyu Group, the head of the Fang family, Fang Xinghuai. I looked toward the sound and saw Fang Xinghuai, wearing a silk robe, looking like a proper gentleman. And an evil fire surged up in my heart. It was he who had ordered me thrown out of the house in my previous life. Fang Xinghuai had hollow cheeks and looked like a scrawny little old man, but after being chairman for so long, he naturally carried the air of someone above others, speaking with absolute authority and extreme domineeringness. He looked impatiently at the mess all over the floor, anger piling up in his eyes. Sun Jinhua was terrified. She turned and knelt amid the mess, crying out, "Chairman, you have to stand up for me." Fang Xinghuai snorted coldly. "Speak." Sun Jinhua wiped the cream off her face and said in a tearful voice, "I worked so hard to make a whole table of breakfast, and the young master smashed it all. He did it on purpose so the chairman, madam, and young lady wouldn't get any breakfast. In front of Fang Xinghua, she didn't dare call me a filthy dog. After all, I was the Fang family's live-in son-in-law. If she called me a filthy dog, then the Fang family would become a doghouse. Fang Xinghua looked at me coldly. You really did this? Looking at the anger in Fang Xinghua's eyes piling up to the limit. It would erupt with just a single spark. I did it. So what? Reborn into a new life and with a system. What the hell is the chairman of Tianyu Group to me? He's just a tool for farming anger points. Hearing my self-righteous answer, Fang Xinghua felt his authority had been challenged, whether in the Fang family or at Tianyu Group, who didn't treat him with the utmost respect. He slammed his fist onto the dining table and roared, "The Fang family has treated you well, yet you behave so despicably. Get out of here." Ding. Anger plus 16. The tool has come online. I sneered. For all these years, I've worked myself to the bone for the Fang family, never got a single cent in wages, and all I got in return were 3 meals a day and being cursed like a dog every day. What the hell are you to dare drive me out? I'll leave on my own. It's me who looks down on your Fang family. I'm firing the Fang family. This live-in son-in-law gig, I'm done with it. After saying that, I felt refreshed. Years of pent-up frustration had finally been released a little. Fang Xinghua was so furious his face turned livid. If the Fang family hadn't given you work, you'd have died in a filthy ditch long ago. Not only do you not know how to repay kindness, you repay kindness with enmity instead. Get out of the Fang family. Let's see how you die. He had made up his mind to use Tianyu Group's connections to blacklist me. Ding. Anger plus 13. Just as I was about to snap back, 2 voices rang out. Dad, what's wrong? Who are you angry with so early in the morning? Old Fang, who made you angry? I didn't even need to look to know who it was. My nominal wife Fang Siyu, and my mother-in-law Lu Hongyu. One was a seemingly pure scheming bitch. The other a domineering, double-standard old woman. Fang Siyu's long black hair hung loose, and she wore light makeup. Her palm-sized face was full of concern. Lu Hongyu frowned, the fine lines at the corners of her eyes filled with meanness. Fang Xinghua answered angrily. Who else but your good son-in-law? He knocked over breakfast, kept calling himself your father, treating me like his son. He even claimed he was firing the Fang family. He's really gotten bold. Fang Siyu and Lu Hongyu understood at once. Fang Siyu met my playful gaze, and her heart tightened. This live-in son-in-law seemed different now. But she quickly steadied herself. After so many years of Su Huai's cowardly behavior, she had nothing to fear. She pretended to be concerned and said, Su Huai, what are you doing? Are you hurt? You made Dad angry so early in the morning. Hurry up and kneel down and apologize to him. I sneered. For such a trivial matter, I have to kneel and apologize? The one who wanted to burn me as firewood in my previous life was this bitch too. Fang Siyu, stop acting fake as hell. It makes me sick just looking at you. Ding. Anger value plus 19. Fang Siyu was stunned. That coward Su Huai actually dared to curse at her? She pretended to panic. Su Huai, what are you doing? You really can't tell good intentions from bad. I'm your wife. Would I harm you? I made a grabbing motion over my head, like taking off a hat. Oh? Should I thank you for putting a green hat on me to keep me warm? I vaguely realized that she married me just so she could fool around outside. And who knows how many bastard fetuses she'd already aborted. Ding. Anger value plus 29. Fang Siyu was both furious and enraged, not expecting her dirty secrets to be exposed in public. How was she supposed to keep up her pure image now? She hurriedly put on a panicked expression and explained, Su Huai, what nonsense are you talking about? I'm not that kind of person. After getting married, I've kept myself clean. How could I go out fooling around? After saying that, when she saw the doubt on her parents' faces lessen a little, she secretly breathed a sigh of relief, then earnestly added, Mom, Dad, you have to believe me. Your daughter isn't that kind of person. At the end, she shot me a smug glance. Trash. Let's see whether my parents believe me or you. Her superb acting instantly won over Fang Xinghua and Lu Hongyu. Daughter, Dad watched you grow up. I believe you're not that kind of person. Siyu, if you're upright, you need not fear a crooked shadow. Fang Siyu pretended to nod gratefully. Lu Hongyu then looked at me, her voice shrill with anger. You piece of trash. Our Fang family raised you all these years only to raise an ungrateful wretch. You even slander your own wife. Are you trying to ruin Siyu? Make her lose all reputation? Get out of here. I don't want to see you for even one more minute. Fang Siyu gave a feigned gasp of surprise. Mom, Su Huai didn't do it on purpose. Don't drive him away, he's my husband. So heartfelt and sincere. If I hadn't already seen her true colors, I might really have been fooled. Back then I was tricked into marrying by this manipulative bitch. and she even tried every way possible to PUA me, making me feel indebted to her. That's why I put up with so much anger for so many years. I no longer felt the slightest bit moved, and instead only felt disgusted. Fang Siyu, cut the crap, get the hell away, don't talk to me. You make me sick. Fang Siyu immediately put on a pained expression, tears welling in her eyes. Su Huai, don't be like this. I'm your wife. Her performance successfully added fuel to the fire. Fang Xinghuai roared, are you leaving or not? If you don't regret it. He was about to call security to throw me out. Lu Hongyu also screamed, pointing at the door, get out of the Fang family. Get out. Looking at how exasperated they were. Along with Sun Jinhua's smug face and Fang Siyu's fake attempts to dissuade them, I let out a cold laugh and was just about to turn around and leave. But then the doorbell rang. Lu Hongyu instinctively ordered me, go open the door. I raised an eyebrow. Just now you were telling me to get the hell out, and now you're telling me to open the door? Open your MB. You still think you can order me around? Dream on. Lu Hongyu's chest heaved violently, and she nearly exploded with rage. She was just about to shout at me when she saw me pick up a chair and glare at her menacingly, as if saying, say one more word, and I'll crack your head open. She was frightened and truly didn't dare make another sound. There were no lackeys around to do things for her now. How could an old woman like her possibly beat a 20-something Su Huai? When Fang Siyu saw the tense, explosive scene, she was alarmed at first, then secretly delighted. If this kept going, once Su Huai was kicked out of the Fang family, he definitely wouldn't be able to come back. Then she could do whatever she wanted without having to worry about her persona collapsing. She put on an anxious expression. Stop arguing, I'll open the door. She quickly opened the door and said in surprise, brother-in-law, sis, what brings you here? The visitors were her biological older sister Fang Xiling and her brother-in-law Lu Yuanshan. At Tianyu Group, one of them was a deputy general manager and the other the finance director, and both lived in the luxury residences of Jinghai No. 1. On the entire 27th floor of Jinghai No. 1, more than a dozen of the Fang family's relatives lived there. Lu Yuanshan swept his gaze over Fang Siyu's full breasts, a trace of lust rising in his eyes before quickly fading as he resumed his well-dressed gentlemanly appearance. Siyu, why is it so noisy at home this morning? I could hear it upstairs. He lives on the 17th floor, while Fang Siyu's home is on the 16th. Fang Xiling also asked. Yeah, what are you arguing about? What happened? Just as Fang Siyu was about to speak, Lu Hongyu's voice sounded from behind her. Yuanshan, you're here? Come in, quick, someone is trying to kill me. Lu Yuanshan and Fang Xiling immediately squeezed through the door nervously, only to see Lu Hongyu standing there perfectly fine, with food scraps all over the floor, nothing like a murder scene. Just as they were wondering, the corner of their eyes caught sight of me holding a chair with a vicious look on my face, and they jumped in fright, hurriedly pulling Fang Siyu back. After making sure it was safe, Lu Yuanshan barked. Su Huai, what are you doing? Put the chair down. He was waiting for me to obediently do as told. Su Huai was a live-in son-in-law and a coward, and just one shout from him would make him tremble. This time would be no exception. I looked up at Lu Yuanshan and snickered. Did Fang Siyu sleep with you? You sure know how to play, leaving neither the older sister nor the younger one alone. Countless details tangled together at this moment, making me certain Lu Yuanshan had definitely slept with Fang Siyu. Ding. Anger points plus 25. Lu Yuanshan froze for a moment. How did Su Huai know about something so secretive? How could something like this be exposed right in front of his parents-in-law and wife? He quickly reacted and flatly denied it. Su Huai, you're slandering me. Fang Siyu is my sister-in-law. How could I possibly have an affair with her? As he spoke, he glanced sideways at Fang Siyu. Her little face was deathly pale. He cursed inwardly. Damn woman. Being this obvious. Are you trying to make the affair look real? Without waiting for my reply, he pulled out his phone and dialed. Su Huai, you've got some nerve, daring to lay hands on Mom. And even daring to slander me. I'll call security to deal with you. The call connected, and the fawning voice of Tianyu Group's security captain came through. Hello, President Lu. Good morning. Is something the matter? Just as Lu Yuanshan was about to speak, he suddenly saw me charging at him viciously with a stool in hand, as if I wanted to kill him. He let out a terrified scream, dropped his phone, and fled in panic. After only a few steps, his back suddenly grew heavy. I brought the stool down on his back, and intense pain spread through his whole body. He staggered, but managed to steady himself. If he fell, his head would definitely be smashed open. He spotted the long oval dining table like it was a savior and started running around it. And for a moment, I actually couldn't catch up to him. Only then did he dare look back, and he saw me raising the stool and chasing him hard, scaring him into yelling, "Su Huai, how dare you hit me? You'll regret this." In my head, the sound of anger points being credited kept ringing nonstop. I sneered inwardly and chased him like a cat toying with a mouse. Only then did Lu Hongyu, Fang Xiyu, and the others finally belatedly let out screams. They were shocked and furious, but did not dare step forward to help, only yelling around like idiots, which instead made my anger points rise again. After chasing him for a few minutes, Lu Yuanshan couldn't hold on anymore. He was panting heavily, his legs gave out, and he collapsed to the floor. I was almost out of strength too. After all, I had been chasing someone while holding up a stool. But when I saw him collapse, strength surged through my body again, and in a few strides I pounced on him and threw punch after punch. My eyes. Lu Yuanshan's face was bruised and swollen from the blows, and he cried out in pain. A gleeful smile appeared on my face, and just as I was about to continue beating him senseless, a loud shout came from outside the door. "Stop. No fighting. Otherwise you'll be handed over to the authorities." Hearing the word authorities, I stopped instinctively. In 1 month, the apocalypse would arrive. If I got locked up at a time like this, how could I build an apocalypse fortress and stockpile supplies? I could still tell what mattered more. Turning my head, I saw several Jinghai No. 1 security guards standing at the doorway, some holding shields, some holding steel forks, and they did carry a bit of intimidation. They were the people Fang Xiyu had called. That scheming bitch had already messaged the head of security to call people over, with the aim of getting me locked up. I quickly assessed the balance of power. I couldn't take them on head-on. I let go of Lu Yuanshan's collar, stood up, and walked toward the door. As they watched me approach, the security guards didn't know for a moment whether to stop me or not. In the end, they could only watch helplessly as I squeezed through the crowd and disappeared at the elevator entrance, heading downstairs. Lu Yuanshan came to his senses and roared, "What are you standing around for? Stop him. He hit me, beat me into this state. Grab him." The security guards hurriedly gave chase, but there was no trace of me anymore. After the group went back and explained the situation, Lu Yuanshan cursed furiously. "Useless. Useless." Fang Xiling helped him up and comforted him. "Yuanshan, don't worry, that guy won't get away." Fang Xinghuai and Lu Hongyu also nodded. Fang Xinghuai said coldly, "Yuanshan, don't worry, I'll make that punk pay." While they were denouncing me, I had already left Jinghai No. 1 and was strolling along the greenway in the seaside park. Listening to the anger points being delivered remotely, I was in an excellent mood. After getting tired of walking, I found a bench and sat down, then eagerly opened the system store, and was instantly overjoyed. The anger points field showed 526 points. Although it wasn't much, it was enough to buy infinite space. Calming himself, he found the infinite space he had been longing for. Seeing that the price field still showed 1, he clicked purchase. A confirmation box popped up. "Do you want to purchase infinite space?" Su Huai clicked confirm. Instantly, the transaction was completed. And Su Huai also felt that in his mind, he could sense a magical space. And when he probed it with his consciousness, it was vast and boundless, truly infinite. After roaming around the infinite space for a while, Su Huai began figuring out how to use it to store and retrieve items. Very quickly, he learned how. He only needed to look at an item within 5 meters, and, with a thought, the thing would be taken away. At that moment, Su Huai looked at the bench beneath him. The bench abruptly vanished and entered the infinite space. The next instant, the bench abruptly reappeared, as if it had never disappeared at all. "Haha, interesting." Su Huai couldn't help laughing out loud, then immediately began planning what to do next. According to his idea, he had to build an apocalypse fortress filled with supplies. So the first step was to find a house, then turn that house into a fortress. It would be able to withstand both the severe cold and attacks from evil people. After thinking it over, Su Huai decided to buy the top-floor duplex in Jinghai No. 1. Although there were many properties available in Jinghai City, he specifically wanted to buy the top-floor duplex in Jinghai No. 1. It wasn't for enjoyment. After all, he had lived in a tiny storage room of just a few square meters for a long time, so he didn't care about such things. The reason he wanted to buy it was simply to watch the Fang family die one by one in the glacial apocalypse. After deciding to buy the top-floor duplex in Jinghai No. 1, Su Huai began doing the math in his head. He knew that housing prices in Jinghai No. 1 weren't cheap, costing over 100,000 per square meter. The top-floor duplex had an additional half-floor, with a total area of over 300 square meters, and the total price would require tens of millions. As for him, All his assets combined amounted to no more than 300 yuan. Wanting to buy the top-floor duplex in Jinghai number 1 was no different from a pipe dream. Just as Su Huai was worrying about money, he remembered that anger points could be exchanged for cash. 1 point of anger was worth 100,000, and he still had 525 anger points left, which could be exchanged for 52.5 million. That was enough to buy the top-floor duplex in Jinghai number 1. Su Huai found the purchase window for Huaxia currency and exchanged all his anger points for Huaxia currency. The moment the transaction was completed, his phone notified him that a large remittance had arrived, an astonishing 52.5 million. Looking at the account details in his mobile banking app, at that string of numbers, Su Huai grinned broadly. At the same time, he developed a strong craving for anger points and swore to use every possible means to get them. After collecting himself, Su Huai called for a ride on his phone, with the destination set as the sales office of Jinghai number 1. At this moment, he still had no idea that the security guards of Jinghai number 1 were looking for him everywhere. They said they were going to hand him over to the authorities for a proper lesson. Before the car arrived, Su Huai sat in a chair, playing with his phone and waiting leisurely. A few minutes later, a volleyball suddenly dropped by Su Huai's feet. He looked down and vaguely guessed that the group playing beach soccer had kicked the ball over. Still, he couldn't be bothered to care. He turned his attention back to his phone. As for the volleyball, whoever was playing with it could pick it up themselves. He wasn't stopping them. Suddenly, a loud shout came from afar. "Hey, bring the volleyball over here for us." Hearing this, Su Huai looked up, knowing they were calling him. After all, the volleyball had landed right at his feet. So who else would they be calling? He then saw a group of stylishly dressed young men and women more than 10 meters away, all looking in his direction. One blonde-haired guy was still shouting, "Hey, bring the ball over here for us." Su Huai glanced at them and lowered his head to look at his phone again. At this moment, the ride-hailing driver was messaging him to confirm the destination. He had neither the time nor the obligation to pick up a volleyball for someone. When the blonde-haired guy noticed that Su Huai was completely ignoring him, he felt embarrassed in front of his companions and roared, "Are you deaf, or what? I told you to bring the ball over here." After saying that, seeing Su Huai still unmoving, he angrily strode over, ready to make an example of Su Huai. After only 2 steps, he saw Su Huai move and bend down to pick up the volleyball. Seeing this, a smug smile appeared on the blonde-haired guy's face, thinking Su Huai had chickened out. Su Huai picked up the ball and looked up to see the blonde-haired guy's smug face. He gave a disdainful smile. Then, hugging the volleyball, he climbed into the ride-hailing car that had just come to a stop. The ride-hailing driver hit the gas, taking Su Huai and the volleyball away. Seeing this, the blonde-haired guy and his companions were all dumbfounded. Their volleyball had been carried off by Su Huai. How were they supposed to play now? The blonde-haired guy was the first to react, jumping up and cursing, "Damn you! You actually dared to take my ball away. Don't let me catch you. If I catch you, I'll kill you." Behind him, several of the handsome men and beautiful women cursed along with him, so angry that the flesh on their chests was trembling. Sitting in the speeding car, Su Huai suddenly heard the system notification sound. Ding! Anger points from Huang Jinlong plus 29. Ding! Anger points from Su Buchao plus 16. Ding! Anger points from Mo Ziki plus 9. The system chimed several times in a row, and Su Huai grinned. There was no need to think about it. The group playing ball must have been furious with him and had just sent him anger points. Putting away his smile, Su Huai tossed the volleyball out the window, and it was instantly crushed and burst by a large truck. 10 minutes later, Su Huai got out of the car. In front of him was the imposing sales office of Jinghai number 1. He strolled inside, and a curvy, alluring woman in a business outfit with an ultra-short skirt and black stockings on her legs came up to greet him. With an enthusiastic smile on her face, she said, "Sir, are you here to look at houses?" Seeing Su Huai nod, she immediately launched into her pitch. "Sir, you have excellent taste. Our Jinghai number 1 is the best located property in Jinghai City, facing north and south, with plenty of sunlight. There's a beach in front, Swan Lake behind, and nearby there's Jinghai number 1 High School and Walmart shopping center. It's got everything you could want." Su Huai nodded. He had long known all this, or else why would Jinghai number 1 sell for such a high price? He simply walked over and sat down in a chair, crossing his legs as he asked, "Calculate it for me. How much is the top-floor duplex? I'll buy it." Hearing this, the female sales agent immediately crouched down. Though her legs seemed to be closed, hints of spring were faintly visible, and she deliberately leaned forward so that her clothes lifted away from her body, offering her business card with both hands. "Sir, this is my business card. My name is Zhu Zhen. You can just call me Xiao Zhu. Sir, you're buying a house, right? I'll handle it for you right away. Su Huai nodded, and from the corner of his eye caught a glimpse of delicate white skin and most of a breast, thinking to himself that this woman really knew how to play the game. She had men's desires completely figured out. He stood up and took the business card. Following Zhu Zhen to the model display, he chose the top-floor duplex in the same building as the Fang family. Then, from above, he could look down and watch how that bunch from the Fang family froze, starved, and died of thirst. This one, right here, I'm buying it. Su Huai nodded. Seeing this, Zhu Zhen was overjoyed. The building Su Huai pointed to was among the most expensive properties in Jinghai No. 1. The unit price was 45 million, and her commission alone would exceed 100,000. She beamed with delight and nodded repeatedly. Yes, sir, please wait a moment. I'll handle the paperwork for you right away. After saying that, she asked a colleague to invite the sales director over to check things over. She had not been at the Jinghai No. 1 sales office for long, and suddenly landing such a huge deal made her feel a little uncertain. Her colleague agreed and left, looking full of envy, hating that she had been too slow and had missed out on such a big deal for nothing. Zhu Zhen invited Su Huai to sit down and quickly brought him coffee, then crouched beside Su Huai like a well-behaved kitten, afraid he might run off. To pass the time, she racked her brains trying to make conversation with him. She showed great interest in someone like Su Huai, who was young, rich, and handsome. Mr. Su, if you need the house decorated, I can handle that for you too. If you're bored and want someone to chat with, you can also come to me. As she spoke, a shy look appeared in her eyes, and she cast Su Huai a sweet glance. She had begun to throw out bait, wanting to use her beauty to latch onto Su Huai, this rich second-generation heir. Then would she still need to sell houses? Sell houses, my ass. Su Huai glanced at her and sneered inwardly. He would never allow an outsider into his home, especially not a saleswoman as scheming as this one. These saleswomen sell houses by day and keep selling at night. Getting involved with them only brings trouble. He said coldly, no need. I prefer to keep to myself. Hearing this rejection, Zhu Zhen froze. With her curvy figure and soul-stealing legs, who knew how many men wanted her, yet she was being treated so indifferently. A surge of anger rose in her heart. Her little fairy's pride had been trampled, but she didn't dare say a word. When a little fairy meets a loser guy, she still dares to yell pervert. But when she meets a rich second-generation heir like Su Huai who spends lavishly, she's nothing but a total simp. Even if she was angry, she had to keep it bottled up. Zhu Zhen forced herself to smile and said warmly, Mr. Su, I was too forward. Ding. Anger points from Zhu Zhen plus 99. Hearing the system notification suddenly ring out, Su Huai glanced at Zhu Zhen. This was a heaven-sent tool person. Just a simple rejection had made this little fairy so angry. Not using her to farm some anger points would simply be a terrible waste. Thinking this, Su Huai said casually, good that you understand. I don't take a liking to just anyone. Those words, which hit right in the heart, instantly stirred up a storm in Zhu Zhen's mind. It wasn't that Su Huai really preferred to be alone. It was that Su Huai looked down on her. He actually looked down on her. Deep down, Zhu Zhen had already cursed Su Huai's ancestors for 18 generations. How could a fragrant little fairy like her actually be disliked by someone? No, tonight she absolutely had to toy with a simp to balance herself out. But for the sake of the hefty commission, though Zhu Zhen was grinding her teeth in hatred towards Su Huai, she still smiled naturally and said, It's only natural that Mr. Su would look down on someone like me. Your sights are set very high. Ding. Anger points from Zhu Zhen plus 199. Su Huai chuckled. Zhu Zhen really was an excellent tool person. Just a few words had given him so many anger points. As expected of a little fairy who cared about saving face, always pretending and posturing. The anger in her heart was probably about to explode. He nodded and kept twisting the knife. Not bad, I guess. My standards are only SOSO. But someone like you, I really don't fancy. Those words were extremely hurtful, and the system notification showed he had gained another 299 anger points. Zhu Zhen was so furious she was almost losing her mind. Mediocre taste, yet he still looked down on her? Then did that mean she wasn't even mediocre? She took several deep breaths to calm herself down, enduring it again and again for the sake of the commission from selling the house. At the same time, she wisely shut her mouth, keeping up a fake smile as she waited for the sales director to come over and write up the order. After suffering so much humiliation, once the order was written up, she wouldn't serve him anymore. At this moment, she heard the sales director's enthusiastic voice along with the sound of running footsteps. At this moment, Sales director Wang Xiaoming was overjoyed because the penthouse duplex was priced too high per unit. It had never been sold, and damn it, it was practically about to become an unsellable property. Now, someone was finally coming to buy it. When that happened, he would definitely get a huge bonus. Wang Xiaoming hurried over to Zhu Zhan and said in a low voice, "Where's the customer?" Seeing Wang Xiaoming, Zhu Zhan was obviously relieved and tilted her head towards Su Huai, who was bowing his head and playing with his phone. Wang Xiaoming nodded confidently, steadied his emotions, put on a professional smile, and extended his hand to Su Huai. "Hello, sir. I am the sales director of Jinghai No. 1. Just call me Xiao Wang." Su Huai shifted his gaze away from his phone screen, looked up at Wang Xiaoming, and said flatly, "Oh, cut the crap. Write up the order and take the payment. I don't have time to waste here with you." The apocalypse would come in a month, so every second counted. Only then did Wang Xiaoming get a clear look at Su Huai's face. His eyes widened and he exclaimed, "It's you?" Su Huai was baffled and frowned. "What, do you know me?" A disgusted expression appeared on Wang Xiaoming's face, and he snorted coldly. "You, the Fang family's live-in son-in-law. Who in all of Jinghai No. 1 doesn't know you?" Then he said angrily, "I thought some VIP had arrived. But it turns out it's you, the Fang family's live-in son-in-law, who came to the Jinghai No. 1 sales office to mess around. You? Buying a house. Buying the top-floor duplex at Jinghai No. 1? Do you know how much a duplex costs? Tens of millions. Even if you were sold and every organ in your body was cut out, you still couldn't scrape together enough." After saying that, he added as if not yet satisfied, "Bad luck. What fucking bad luck. Getting toyed with so early in the morning." Then he pointed at Zhu Zhan and scolded her. "Even though you're new, can you at least have some judgment? You can't just bring anyone inside. If it weren't for the fact that you have a good image, I would have fired you." Zhu Zhan was stunned by Wang Xiaoming's string of words, and it took her quite a while to come back to her senses. She cried out in shock, "This person is that useless live-in son-in-law of the Fang family?" "Yes," Zhu Xiaoming replied. "Can a person like this afford a duplex at Jinghai No. 1? Use your brain a little." Hearing this, Zhu Zhan felt all sorts of mixed emotions. A commission of hundreds of thousands was gone. Earlier, she had tried every possible way to please him, and even when she was humiliated, she had kept smiling. Damn it, she had put on an act for nothing. Enraged, she cursed, "If you don't have money, why the hell are you pretending to be some big shot? Security, security, come." She wanted to call security to throw Su Huai out, but halfway through, she obediently shut up. Because Su Huai waved the balance of his bank account in front of her eyes, and the sheer number of zeros made her panic. Seeing so many zeros behind the balance on Su Huai's bank card, Zhu Zhan forcibly swallowed the words in her mouth. Su Huai really was rich. A smile instantly piled up on her face. "Mr. Su, you really do love to joke. Earlier, I was in the wrong. I offer you my apology. I'm sorry. If you're still not satisfied, I'll do anything you want." As she spoke, she threw Su Huai a flirtatious glance. Those who understand, understand. At this moment, in her eyes, Su Huai fully fit the image of a young and wealthy man. So what if he was the Fang family's live-in son-in-law? As long as he had money, even a live-in son-in-law was a master. Wang Xiaoming also sensed that something was off and quickly leaned over to look at the phone screen. The long string of zeros made his heart tighten. He really was a rich big shot. Weren't they all saying the Fang family's live-in son-in-law was a useless waste? Where did he get so much money? Wang Xiaoming felt like he had been slapped in the face, but he didn't feel the slightest bit embarrassed. He immediately put on a fake smile and said with a chuckle, "Mr. Su, I failed to recognize a great person before me. I was wrong, and I apologize to you." After saying that, he gave a standard 90 degrees bow. Su Huai looked at the two of them and couldn't be bothered to argue. Time was pressing, and when faced with disgusting people, he would endure it if he could. He only said, "You look decent enough, but you look down on people like a dog with human eyes." Wang Xiaoming understood. Su Huai was insulting him. Yet he was not angry at all and gave another standard 90 degrees bow. "Yes, yes, yes, I was the one looking down on people. Mr. Su, please don't take it to heart." Looking at Wang Xiaoming's obsequious, Japanese-like manner, bowing whenever there was a problem, Su Huai snorted and said, "Hurry up and sign the contract." Okay. Wang Xiaoming quickly agreed and ran off to get the contract. Zhu Zhan stood by with a flattering smile, waiting for the contract to be brought over. At this moment, several aggressive security guards rushed in from outside. As soon as they entered the sales office, they shouted loudly, "Is someone here causing trouble? Who is it?" Earlier, when Zhu Zhan called for security, no one responded. They had all gone to look for Su Huai. Only now did they have time to come to the sales office. Zhu Zhen cursed the useless security guards inwardly. She had called for so long, and they only came now. What good were they? She replied, "It's fine. Thanks for your hard work. You can go back now." Hearing this, the security captain felt a little displeased. "You call us over, then say everything's fine. Are you screwing with me?" He could only shout, "Don't keep calling security over nothing in the future. We're so busy our heads are about to fall off, and on top of that we still have to be messed with by you." Sensing that things were going badly, Zhu Zhen was afraid the security guards would turn on her. So she said apologetically, "Brothers, I'm really sorry." Then she deliberately changed the subject and looked at the security captain with a smile. "Captain Yang, have you been very busy today?" Seeing the beauty smile at him, the security captain's pent-up anger eased slightly, and he said irritably, "That live-in son-in-law of the Fang family hit someone and ran off. We've been looking for him all morning and still haven't found him. Damn it, I'm furious. Don't let me find that brat, or I'll beat him up for sure. He's really put us through the ringer." Hearing this, Zhu Zhen's expression froze. The Fang family's live-in son-in-law. Isn't he right here? She subconsciously looked towards Huai, who was lowering his head and playing on his phone, and this drew the security captain's gaze as well. The captain took one look and felt he seemed somewhat familiar, then hurried over to Huai in a few quick steps and took a closer look. A look of delight immediately appeared on his face, and he burst into laughter. "Damn it, so you brat were hiding here all along. You're really something. You knew the most dangerous place is the safest place, and you fucking hid in the sales office." After saying that, he waved and called people over. "Get over here, this brat is here. Come and detain him, then send him to the authorities." Hearing this, Huai raised his head, his brows knotting tightly. "Are you the Fang family's dog? Barking so happily and working so hard for them?" Seeing that the situation was turning bad, Zhu Zhen panicked. Huai still hadn't signed, and the top-floor duplex still hadn't been sold. Huai absolutely could not be taken away. She hurriedly grabbed the security captain's arm and said, "Captain Yang, is there some misunderstanding here? Mr. Su is our most distinguished guest." As she spoke, she kept looking around, hoping Wang Xiaoming would come quickly. She was about to lose control of the situation. The security captain said in surprise, "What misunderstanding? This brat beat up Tianyu Group's deputy general manager this morning, then fled to avoid punishment. We've been looking for him all morning. He's exactly who we're after. What? Did this brat come to your sales office to put on airs? I'm telling you, don't you dare be fooled. He's just a live-in son-in-law. He doesn't have a damn thing. Don't let his act deceive you." After saying that, he ordered the security guards under him. "What are you standing around for? Grab him." Hearing the captain's order, several security guards rushed towards Huai at once, wanting to take him away. Zhu Zhen was greatly alarmed, knowing that she absolutely could not let the security captain take Huai away. She quickly spread her arms to shield Huai and shouted, "What are you doing? What are you doing? Mr. Su is here to buy a house. If you keep messing around, I'll file a complaint against you." Hearing this, the security captain was still somewhat afraid of getting a complaint and didn't dare act tough. He could only try to persuade her nicely. "Miss, you just joined the sales office, so you don't know the situation. This guy is the Fang family's live-in son-in-law, useless, and can't afford a house." After saying that, he looked at Huai and angrily said, "Kid, get up and come with us. What's the point of hiding behind a woman?" Ding. Anger points from Yang Sanli +7. Huai shrugged coldly. "Come on, if you're so capable, take me away right now." Hearing this, Yang Sanli felt provoked. Rolling up his sleeves, he shouted angrily, "You brat! How dare you push your luck? I'm definitely taking you in today. Brothers, come with me." This short chapter is not over yet. Please click the next page to continue reading the exciting content that follows. After saying that, he led several security guards around Zhu Zhen's obstruction, preparing to use force on Huai. Just as they approached Huai, and before they could make a move, the sales director arrived with the contract. At a glance, he saw Huai surrounded here by several security guards, as if they were about to fight, and his face changed in fright. If the guards beat up Huai, there would be no damn way this deal was getting signed. He hurriedly shouted, "Stop!" Hearing someone yell, Yang Sanli subconsciously stopped and turned around. After recognizing the sales director, his face immediately filled with a smile. As the sales director of Jinghai No. 1, with the title of director, he had some authority, so Yang Sanli couldn't afford to neglect him. Smiling, he said, "President Wang, it's you." Wang Xiaoming ignored him, and first gave Huai a standard 90 degrees bow, saying apologetically, "Mr. Su, I'm sorry. These security guards were out of line. On behalf of the Jinghai No. 1 sales office, I offer our deepest apologies. Su Huai let out a cold laugh. So an apology is enough? These people were just about to beat me up. Watching the back and forth between the two, Yang Sanli was dumbfounded, his face full of confusion. He couldn't help but speak up. President Wang, he's the Fang family's live-in son-in-law. Why are you being so polite to him? That little girl doesn't know any better, but you also. Hearing this, Wang Xiaoming shot him a fierce glare and shouted angrily, "What the hell do you know? Mr. Su is buying the top-floor duplex at Jinghai number 1, 45 million, and the contract is about to be signed. If you keep yapping here, I'll have your manager fire you right now." Hearing this, Yang Sanli was stunned. He looked at Su Huai in utter shock, as if he were meeting him for the first time. The 45 million top-floor duplex was actually bought by the Fang family's live-in son-in-law. Yang Sanli stood there in a daze for a while, then quickly apologized after coming back to his senses. He knew that a moneyed patron like Su Huai was someone a mere security captain like him simply couldn't afford to offend. Although he didn't know where Su Huai got so much money, money talks. Even if he was a live-in son-in-law, he was still a rich live-in son-in-law. Inwardly, he secretly groaned and cursed the Fang family from top to bottom. Su Huai is so wealthy and capable, yet they told me to come arrest him. Isn't that just sending me straight into the line of fire? Bowing and scraping, he said, "President Wang, I'm sorry. I didn't know the situation. I was wrong. I'll go. I'll leave right away." After saying that, he bowed repeatedly in apology and called to the other security guards to prepare to withdraw. At this moment, Wang Xiaoming caught from the corner of his eye that Su Huai looked displeased, as if his anger hadn't subsided, and instantly understood that he was still angry at idiots like Yang Sanli. He immediately barked at Yang Sanli and the others to stop, scolding, "Why are you apologizing to me? Apologize to Mr. Su. Are you stupid?" Hearing this, Yang Sanli had no choice but to stop. Together with his subordinate security guards, he put on ingratiating smiles and said, "Mr. Su, we're sorry. We were presumptuous. Please be magnanimous and let us off the hook." After saying that, they all bowed together, looking extremely sincere in their attitude. Ding! Anger points from Yang Sanli plus 18. At this moment, Su Huai heard the system notification sound, which showed that Yang Sanli and the others were unhappy and angry inside. He was just pretending rather well. Su Huai understood instantly, turned his head away coldly, and said nothing, directly leaving Yang Sanli and the others hanging off to the side. Now, Yang Sanli and the others were in an especially awkward spot, neither able to leave nor stay. Inside, they were grinding their teeth in anger, thinking that Su Huai had started putting on airs just because he had a little stinking money. As for Su Huai, when he heard the system notification keep ringing, he farmed another 154 anger points from Yang Sanli and the others. Thus, Su Huai continued to put on airs, determined to keep squeezing the remaining value out of Yang Sanli and those human tools. Seeing the awkward atmosphere and the few of them standing there, Wang Xiaoming felt that not only did they look idiotic, they were also affecting his ability to close the deal. So he stepped in as a peacemaker. "Captain Yang, why are you still standing here? Mr. Su is magnanimous and won't hold it against you. Hurry up and leave. Go stand guard." These words elevated Su Huai quite a bit, making it awkward for him to lash out, so he merely let out a cold snort. Seizing the chance, Yang Sanli and the others hurriedly ran off. After seeing Yang Sanli and the others leave, Wang Xiaoming eagerly took out the contract. "Mr. Su, the contract has been drafted. Please have a look. If there are no problems, just sign it and it will take effect." Su Huai nodded and flipped through the contract. After confirming there were no problems, he signed his name. Then, with a swipe of his card, the top-floor duplex in Jinghai number 1 was his. After he swiped his card, cheerful music rang out through the sales office, indicating that someone had closed a huge deal. Countless envious gazes turned towards Su Huai, all imagining how impressive it would be if they were Su Huai. After leaving the sales office, Su Huai agreed with Wang Xiaoming that all the procedures would be completed within 3 days, while Zhu Jin eagerly took him to see the apartment. The top-floor duplex had its own private elevator, and in less than half a minute, the elevator doors opened, and Su Huai saw the home he had just bought. He went in and looked around. The place had some simple decoration. The balcony had a huge floor-to-ceiling window, perfect for looking out into the distance at the Pearl River estuary. There was also an open second floor with a passage leading directly up to the rooftop. The rooftop had some simple landscaping, and there was also a railing added, making it a small garden unique to the top-floor duplex. After looking around, Su Huai nodded in satisfaction. As expected of a 45 million house, aside from being expensive, there was nothing wrong with it. At the same time, he began planning the renovation. When the whole world freezes over, going out will be inconvenient, and he would be cooped up at home all day. So he had to take every factor of food, drink, toileting, and sleeping into consideration to ensure nothing could go wrong. After thinking it through, he drove away Zhu Zhan, who had been pretending her foot hurt and refusing to leave the sofa. Then he lay on the sofa by himself, opened his phone, and searched for renovation companies. While searching, he heard the system notification sound ring. Ding! Anger from Zhu Zhan plus 99. Hearing this, Su Huai sneered. This woman Zhu Zhan had pretended her foot hurt and stayed on the sofa because she wanted to flirt with him. After being driven away, she was definitely angry. He then calmed his thoughts and began studying renovation companies and choosing a satisfactory renovation style. As for Zhu Zhan, it would be best if she got so angry she exploded. Just as Su Huai was researching renovations, security captain Zhao Sanli rang the Fang family's doorbell. Ding dong, ding dong. After a few rings, the door opened, and Lu Hongyu stood at the entrance. Seeing that it was Zhao Sanli in a security uniform, she immediately thought there must be news about going after Su Huai, and urgently asked, Captain Zhao, has Su Huai been caught? Zhao Sanli's face was dark as he snorted, We don't dare touch Su Huai. You should figure out your own way. I came here just to inform you that we can't handle this matter. You should find the authorities. Seeing this, Zhao Hongyu said in unison, Captain Zhao, Su Huai is just a live-in son-in-law, a complete loser. What's there to stop you from arresting him? Zhao Sanli replied, A live-in son-in-law? A loser? What kind of loser can come up with 45 million to buy the top-floor duplex in Jinghai No. 1? The loser in your eyes now lives in a better house than you do. Hearing this, Zhao Hongyu froze for a moment, suspecting she had misheard. Su Huai couldn't even collect his salary most of the time. So where did he get that much money to buy a top-floor duplex worth 45 million? She hurriedly pressed, Captain Zhao, don't joke around. How could Su Huai possibly afford a 45 million duplex? Zhao Sanli was in a bad mood and couldn't be bothered to argue with her. He dropped a sentence and left. If you don't believe it, go to 2908 on the top floor and see who exactly is living there. Watching Zhao Sanli's retreating figure, Zhao Hongyu gritted her teeth in anger and cursed, You're just a petty security guard, and now you're putting on airs, daring to talk to me like that. Tomorrow I'll have my old Fang get you fired. After cursing him out, she felt a little better. She couldn't help but look upstairs, wanting to go to 2908 and see whether Su Huai really lived there. Still, she didn't believe it, thinking Zhao Sanli just didn't want to help and was deliberately making excuses. After all, if Su Huai were really that capable, would he still be holed up in the Fang family without doing anything? After thinking it over, she decided to wait until her husband and daughter got off work and go take a look together. To be honest, the fierce way Su Huai had chased Lu Yuanshan with a chair scared her. If the person living there really was Su Huai, and she went alone, wouldn't she just be asking for a beating? After browsing on his phone for a while, Su Huai settled on a renovation company called Tianhong Decoration. Tianhong Decoration asked him to meet in person to confirm the details. At this moment, Su Huai noticed his stomach starting to growl, so he went out to get something to eat first, then planned to meet Tianhong Decoration to finalize the details. After going downstairs, he thought for a moment and decided to eat at a Michelin 3-star restaurant. In his previous life, he had lived a pathetic life and had never even stepped through the door of a Michelin 3-star restaurant. Now that he had a second chance, he couldn't keep shortchanging himself. Everything he hadn't enjoyed in his last life, he was going to try in this one. Su Huai hailed a cab straight to Wanda Plaza in Jinghai, where there happened to be a Michelin 3-star restaurant. After entering the Michelin 3-star restaurant, he ordered black truffle puff pastry soup, burgundy snails, pan-fried roe deer chops and cream sauce, and a total of 7 or 8 dishes, then opened a bottle of Lafite and quietly enjoyed the meal. There was a steady stream of customers in the restaurant. Although Su Huai had ordered quite a lot, most people only glanced at him before politely looking away. Those who could dine at a Michelin 3-star restaurant generally had good manners and did not wear their emotions on their sleeves. Su Huai also enjoyed this brief moment of peace, eating while looking out at the street scene beyond the window, savoring a unique feeling. While he was eating, 2 more customers came in through the door. They were walking arm in arm and seemed very intimate. Su Huai happened to glance over and found them somewhat familiar. Looking more closely, wasn't that his nominal wife, Fang Xiyu? And the man whose arm she was holding looked to be in his 30s, wearing a pair of brown-tinted glasses, someone Su Huai had never seen before. At the sight of this, a nameless fire flared up in Su Huai's heart. Although he no longer had feelings for Fang Xiyu, she was still his wife in name. And now his wife was openly holding another man's arm? Just as he was thinking this, the waiter actually led Fang Xiyu and that bastard over towards Su Huai's side. The area where Su Huai was sitting was meant for individual diners, with only small tables. It was perfectly normal for Fang Xiyu and that bastard to be seated there. Good, just perfect. Su Huai let out a cold snort inwardly and silently picked up the Lafite bottle that was still more than half full to wait. At the same time, he could hear Fang Xiyu and that bastard flirting as if no one else were around. Honey, you were amazing in the car just now. I could barely take it anymore. Oh, darling, next time let's try something even more exciting. As they spoke, the two had already walked to a spot not far in front of Su Huai. Fang Xiyu suddenly felt someone staring at her. When she looked up, she saw a figure suddenly pounce toward her. Then came a dull thud, followed by the sound of a bottle shattering. Fang Xiyu was stunned and didn't react for a moment. She never expected that while dining at a Michelin 3-star restaurant, someone would attack her with a sucker punch. Cries of alarm erupted all around, and the guests were so frightened that they hurriedly dodged away, afraid they might get smashed with a wine bottle too. The screams snapped Fang Xiyu back to her senses. When she finally reacted, she saw only her lover clutching his head with a pained expression, with blood seeping from his scalp. The figure that had lunged over had already disappeared without a trace. George. Fang Xiyu hurriedly showed concern for her lover. This man named George was a foreign hunk, and he was wild and exciting in bed. She liked him a great deal. Shit. Who hit me? George's head was buzzing, and he shouted angrily. No one answered him. Su Huai had already run off. He ran mainly because he didn't want to get hauled in by the authorities, or he'd be screwed. But if he didn't crack the lover on the head, he just couldn't swallow his anger. There hadn't been enough time either, otherwise Fang Xiyu would have gotten a bottle to the head too. Hit and run was the best strategy. Given the authorities' work efficiency, they wouldn't deliberately try to catch him for the time being. So there was no need to worry about being hauled in. Seeing George covered in blood, Fang Xiyu screamed, "Call the police! Call the police!" Then she tremblingly pulled out her phone to call an ambulance. By this time, Su Huai had already left the Michelin restaurant and was strolling leisurely down the street when he suddenly heard the system notification sound. Ding. Anger points from George plus 26. /ding. Anger points from Fang Xiyu plus 99. /TSK. Two trash tool people. Muttering a curse, Su Huai hummed a little tune and walked into a Tianhong decoration store in a good mood. Tianhong Decoration was a publicly listed company with chain stores nationwide, highly experienced in decorating luxury homes. As soon as he entered, a beautiful sales clerk came up to greet him warmly. "Hello, sir. Welcome to Tianhong Decoration." Su Huai nodded. "I've made an appointment. My name is Su Huai." The beautiful clerk picked up a tablet and found Su Huai's name. When she saw that Su Huai was decorating the top-floor duplex of Jinghai No. 1 worth 45 million, she subconsciously glanced at Su Huai. Pink bubbles rose in her heart. A young, rich, and handsome man like Su Huai matched all of her fantasies. Su Huai noticed the look in the beautiful clerk's eyes and gave a polite smile. "Is everything ready?" The beautiful clerk's cheeks flushed slightly, conquered by Su Huai's money-powered charm, and she quickly said, "Yes, I'll ask the store manager to come talk to you right away." 2 hours later, Su Huai left Tianhong Decoration after choosing the decorating style. He divided the 300-plus square meter house into an exercise area, a gaming and audiovisual area, a rest area, and a buffer zone. He also requested that the small rooftop garden be fixed up and turned into a glass sunroom. The total cost came to 2.8 million, and he prepaid a 300,000 deposit. They agreed to start construction tomorrow and complete the renovation within 10 days. Otherwise, the remaining payment would not be settled. After the renovation was finished, it would take another 2 or 3 days for the furniture and appliances to be moved in, and the whole house renovation would then be partly completed. After going out, Su Huai saw that it was still early, only a little after 3 o'clock, so he hailed a cab and continued on to the next place. The interior decoration of the house was only the first step. Next came the top priority. That was hiring a professional security company to turn the entire house into an iron fortress. Of course, this still wasn't Su Huai's initial concept. He discovered that in the system shop, there were ready-made fortresses that could be used directly at a designated location. The layers of configurations inside nearly made him drool. For example, the corridor laser grid system could slice people into chunks of meat right at the entrance. For example, the whole house defense system would gun down anyone who dared break in. This chapter is not over yet. Please click the next page to continue reading the exciting content that follows. But he couldn't afford it. It was too expensive. The shop listed it at 10 million anger points. At this stage, he truly couldn't afford it. So first, he would find an ordinary security company to give the entire house a preliminary fortress-style upgrade. Let's make do with it for now. Half an hour later, Huai arrived at the largest security and protection company in Jinghai City, Tianjiao Iron Guard Security Company. As soon as he entered, a man wearing a green military-style outfit, with bulging muscles, stood up to receive him. Looking at Huai, he said, "Hello, what services do you need? My name is Liamo, just call me Shaoli." Huai nodded and, after sitting down with Liamo, said, "I think someone wants to harm me, so I want to modify my home." Hearing this, Liamo gave Huai a scrutinizing look. Seeing that Huai was dressed plainly, he hesitated a little and said, modifying a house is no problem. It's just that the price is relatively high." In Liamo's eyes, Huai did not look like someone who could come up with a large sum of money to renovate a house. Huai smiled faintly. "Money is not a problem. I'm only afraid you can't do it well." Liamo was provoked and slapped his chest fiercely. "Our Tianjiao security company is world famous. What is there that we can't do? As long as you have enough money, any requirement can be satisfied." Huai nodded. "Good. I just bought the top-floor duplex at Jinghai No. 1, and I need you to turn it into a doomsday fortress. As for the price, quote whatever you want. I only care about the result." Hearing this, Liamo was shaken to the core, his face full of shock. Anyone who could afford Jinghai No. 1 was no ordinary person. Chapter 10. Cleaning Lady. Liamo realized that the Huai before him was very likely one of those understated wealthy Cantonese. Dressed simply, yet with considerable wealth, perhaps even holding several buildings in his hands. Liamo put away his inner contempt and said warmly, "I haven't asked your surname yet, sir?" "Su." "Mr. Su, my apologies for the neglect." Liamo turned and brought over a booklet of renderings. Huai keenly noticed that he had taken the one from the top. There were more pressed underneath, seemingly with different tiers. Liamo handed over the renderings in his hand and said with a smile, "Mr. Su, please take a look. Would a fortress like this suit your wishes?" Huai took it, didn't even bother flipping through it before tossing it aside, and said coldly, "Don't show me this trash." I said, "Money is not a problem." Liamo was not angry when he heard this. Instead, he was delighted. The more expensive Huai chose, the higher his commission would be. He quickly took out the renderings from the very bottom. They were still brand new, almost never flipped through by anyone. He respectfully handed them to Huai. "Boss, take a look. This is the best we have here." Huai took them and examined them carefully. Liamo introduced them eagerly from the side. "Boss, a fortress of this level is equipped with a power system, water purification system, blast valve, and nuclear, biological, and chemical, NBC, air filtration system, electromagnetic shielding system, constant temperature and humidity system, and various other systems. It can withstand a magnitude 10 earthquake, a typhoon with winds of 700 kilometers per hour, 36 meters of accumulated snow, and 3,000 millimeters of heavy rain. Even if submerged in floodwaters for 500 hours, with ground temperatures exceeding 667 degrees Celsius, or subjected to a nuclear explosion or solar flare, the people inside would remain completely safe. As long as you don't open the door, no one can get in. Even if someone bombards it with cannons, it can still hold out for half an hour." After looking through the renderings in his hand, Huai nodded in satisfaction and made the decision on the spot. "This one then. How much?" Liamo chuckled and said, "For a boss like you, it's definitely not expensive. Only 8 million. 8 million was enough to buy a small villa in Jinghai City." But Huai didn't even blink and replied, "I'll add another 2 million for you. Finish it within 10 days and guarantee the quality." An extra 2 million for no reason made Liamo start scheming, and he immediately patted his chest and said, "Don't worry, boss, I guarantee both the timeline and the quality." He was preparing to pocket the extra 2 million himself, but the construction would be done above specification. Otherwise, if it failed inspection and he couldn't get the final payment, how could he take the extra 2 million? Anyway, the extra materials would be paid for by the company, so it had nothing to do with him. After paying a 2 million deposit, Huai left Tianjiao Security Company. He also told Liamo that his house was currently being renovated again and told him to coordinate the work with the people from the renovation company. Don't mess up what he assigned. The final payment will be settled in a month. Whether Tianjiao Security Company can get the final payment then will depend on their luck. When Huai left Tianjiao Security Company, he looked at his phone and saw it was already past 5. It was time for dinner, and he was a little hungry. After looking around, he decided to go eat at Haidaleo. After entering the restaurant, An enthusiastic waiter led him to his seat. Seeing that he was alone, they thoughtfully placed a large teddy bear across from him to keep him company. This time, no one came to disturb Huai, and he quietly enjoyed a hot pot meal. Considering that the furniture for the new house had not been fully purchased yet, and there were only some simple furnishings, he decided to stay at the best five-star hotel in Jinghai. Once the renovation was finished, he would move back to Jinghai number 1. Half an hour later, Huai checked into the Jinghai Star Hotel and chose a presidential suite. He stood before the huge floor-to-ceiling window, swirling a glass of champagne in his hand as he gazed into the boundless ocean in the distance. Once the torrential rain fell, the ocean before his eyes would become a massive snow mountain. By then, who knew how many lives it would swallow? Fortunately, he had been reborn and had already seen the future, so he could prepare in advance. At 8 o'clock in the evening, Huai lay on the sofa watching TV, when suddenly there was a knock at the door. Huai got up and opened it, only to find a woman in a cleaner's uniform standing outside. With just one glance, Huai frowned, because the woman before him was far too beautiful. Although she was wearing a loose cleaning uniform, her chest still strained against it, making it easy to imagine the impressive figure beneath. If she changed into black stockings and a short skirt, she would definitely be at least an 8 out of 10 beauty. With looks like that, working as a cleaner seemed extremely strange. Huai withdrew his gaze and said flatly, "I didn't call for cleaning. You can leave." Hearing this, the cleaning woman lifted her head and puffed out her chest, gripping and rubbing the round wooden handle of the mop in her hand, and threw him a subtle look that any man would understand. "Hello, sir. I am your exclusive maid. Would you like me to clean your room? We also have many additional services, guaranteed to please you." After speaking, she looked at Huai with a lingering gaze. Hearing this, Huai understood. Damn it, what cleaner? No wonder she's so pretty. So she's one of those cleaning girls. The garbage cart she was pushing probably had several sets of uniforms in it. Once this kind of person entered the room, some unspeakable things would happen. Huai immediately refused. "No need, I don't need it." After saying that, he shut the door, giving the cleaning girl the cold shoulder. Ding. Anger points from Xiao Ro plus 19. Outside the door, Xiao Ro was grinding her teeth in anger. She was so beautiful, yet she had actually been turned away. She had wanted to win over the guests staying in the presidential suite, pull out all the stops, and make a big profit in one night. However, she didn't dare act recklessly. Under the official crackdown, prostitution could only change its methods, disguising itself as cleaning girls, delivery girls, sports girls, and various other forms. But the essence remained the same. Once caught by the authorities, she would be in trouble. So no matter how angry she was, she could only curse a few times in her heart, then swayed her hips and pushed her cart toward the next room. Listening to the system prompt, Huai shook his head speechlessly and quickly put the cleaning girl out of his mind, continuing to lie on the sofa and watch TV. When the clock hand pointed to 9:30, Huai yawned and prepared to take a bath and go to sleep. Just as he got up and was about to head to the bathtub, he heard knocking at the door again. Hearing this, Huai said angrily, "Go away. I don't need cleaning, and I don't need any other services either. Knock again, and I'll file a complaint against you." The knocking outside stopped. Huai scratched his neck speechlessly and prepared to continue with his bath. Before he could even take a step, he heard knocking outside again, even louder than before. "Open the door. Open the door. We're from the authorities. Open the door now." Hearing this, Huai was stunned. People from the authorities had actually come to his door? They weren't going to arrest him and lock him up, were they? Once he got arrested and locked up, wouldn't that be the end of him? Hearing that people from the authorities had come looking for him, Huai immediately panicked, afraid of being taken in. He looked around, wanting to slip away, only to realize there was simply no way to escape from this damn place. At the same time, he felt deeply regretful. Although beating up Su Yuanshan and the foreigner had felt satisfying, the consequences were endless. He made up his mind that he must never act impulsively again in the future. Since heaven had given him a chance to be reborn, he absolutely could not stumble over some small details. Now, Huai sighed and decided to open the door, since there was no hiding anyway. After steadying his emotions, Huai pulled the door open and saw two people in official uniforms standing at the entrance, looking at him with serious expressions. Behind the officials stood two familiar faces as well. It was the foreigner and Fang. Seeing the scene before him, Huai paused for a moment, and by the time he came to his senses, he had already guessed what this was about. He calmly asked, "Looking for me?" Though his words were calm, they stirred up a huge storm in Fang's heart. When she learned from the officials that the person who had beaten up her foreigner was Su Huai, she was stunned. Because where had Su Huai gotten the money to eat at a Michelin 3-star restaurant? That was also why she had dared to openly cuddle with the foreigner at the Michelin 3-star restaurant. But the officials told her that, through image comparison, it really was Su Huai. Fang Xiyu reluctantly accepted this fact and thought to herself that Su Huai had probably secretly saved up some money and gone to the Michelin 3-star restaurant to show off for once, with absolutely no second time. But when the officials tracked down Su Huai's whereabouts and told her that he was staying in the presidential suite of Jinghai Star, she completely lost it. A Michelin 3-star restaurant was expensive, sure, but a few thousand was enough. But the presidential suite at Jinghai Star cost tens of thousands for just one night. She secretly wondered whether the officials had made a mistake. And now, seeing Su Huai standing inside the presidential suite and speaking calmly, she could no longer hold it together. She secretly suspected that Su Huai might be the illegitimate son of some financial conglomerate, and now that his parents had come looking for him, he had instantly turned his life around. After all, lots of novels are written like that. But wasn't Su Huai just an orphan? Fang Xiyu's mind ran wild with all kinds of thoughts. She didn't think about sucking up to Su Huai, but rather about sending him in. Otherwise, with Su Huai's current power, if he exposed her affair with the foreigner, how could she keep up appearances? After thinking it all through, she forgot to speak for a moment. The officials, however, did not have that many thoughts. Su Huai had hit someone, so they had to come deal with it. Still, their attitude was very good. Anyone who could afford to stay in a presidential suite was either rich or powerful, so it was best not to act rashly. A thin police officer asked, "Mr. Su, is it?" After seeing Su Huai nod, he continued, "Someone reported that you hit him. Is that true?" As he spoke, he pulled George the foreigner forward. George had his head wrapped in bandages and looked rather miserable. Su Huai glanced at George and almost laughed, then nodded and said, "Yes, I hit him." Hearing him say it so casually, George shouted in anger, "Shit, officer, arrest him, take him away now." Ding. Anger points from George plus 24. The thin police officer shot George an annoyed glance, thinking that if you weren't a foreign guest, who the hell would care about a case like yours where you just got hit once? He also cursed his immediate superior in his heart again, so overly enthusiastic the moment he saw a foreigner. It was comparable to that Edinburgh incident. Though grumbling inwardly, he put on a righteous expression and said, "Mr. Su, why did you hit him? We are a society governed by law." Su Huai snorted and said, "This foreign devil was messing with my wife. If I didn't hit him, should I save him for the new year?" As soon as these words were spoken, the expressions of several people changed instantly. Fang Xiyu's face turned deathly pale, and George became uneasy and awkward. The looks in the two officers' eyes grew subtle. They stared at Su Huai's head again and again, showing sympathy. In the subtle atmosphere, the thin officer was the first to come to his senses. Feeling some sympathy for Su Huai, he said loudly, "What are you planning to do? Settle privately or go through formal procedures?" What he meant by so-called coordination was paying money to settle the matter. Going through formal procedures meant George would have to get his injuries examined. As long as there were injuries, Su Huai could be detained. This sentence reminded Fang Xiyu and George. An affair was not something honorable. It would be best to lock Su Huai up, so that he wouldn't go around publicizing it and make things difficult for them. Fang Xiyu hurriedly shot George a look. George interacted with her every day and had a tacit understanding with her. He instantly understood and said, "I don't accept mediation. I want to go through formal procedures and have him locked up. Shit, I don't care about that little compensation. I have plenty of money." As soon as he said this, the thin officer felt even more dissatisfied with George. Just because you have money, you get to mess with someone else's wife? If this weren't a society ruled by law, I'd beat your teeth out. His tone also turned cold. "Sir, please mind your language, or I'll detain you." These words intimidated George, and for a moment he didn't dare make a sound. The thin officer asked Su Huai again, "Mr. Su, do you want mediation, or?" Before Su Huai could answer, he offered Su Huai some advice. "Mr. Su, you'd better choose mediation. Just think of it as spending money to ward off disaster. Don't be so impulsive next time." Su Huai gave the thin officer a deep look and sensed the goodwill. He nodded and said, "Then mediation it is." George was unhappy when he heard this. "No, I'm not short of money. I don't accept mediation. Go through formal procedures and lock him up." The thin officer ignored him and said to Su Huai, "You talk, we'll witness it." Su Huai glanced at Fang Xiyu. At this moment, Fang Xiyu was looking at him with a face full of anger. It seemed she blamed him for ruining her good thing. This short chapter is not over yet. Please click the next page to continue reading the exciting content that follows. Huai sneered. I'm wearing this green hat, so let's see how you die in a month. We'll wait and see. He looked at George again and snorted. Hey, foreign devil, I still went too easy on you. Ding. George's anger value plus 23. George's face was full of rage. Shit, say that again. Huai didn't want to pay attention to him and said coldly, I'll give you 100,000. Take the money and get lost. 100,000. George's expression changed, and he was somewhat tempted. Although the gauze wrapped around his head made him look rather miserable. In fact, his injuries were not serious, or he wouldn't have shown up here. Wound cleaning, dressing changes, and anti-inflammatory treatment had cost only a little over 500. Compensation of 100,000 far exceeded what he had spent. However, George still held back. He had said earlier that he wasn't short of money. Could 100,000 really be enough to send him away? George said disdainfully, 100,000? I'll give you 100,000, and you let me hit you once. Huai replied with a sneer, I mean pounds sterling. Pounds sterling? George froze for a moment. 100,000 Huai currency and 100,000 pounds sterling differed by nearly 10 times. Getting hit once and being able to receive 100,000 pounds sterling made him somewhat impatient to agree to Huai immediately. After all, he himself was just a fitness coach, and hooking up with Fang was also for her money. It was impossible not to be tempted when he saw compensation of 100,000 pounds sterling. However, greed made him hold back, because he felt that as long as he didn't agree, Huai would offer even more. George still smiled disdainfully. So what if it's pounds sterling? I said it already, I'm not short of money. Hearing George dismiss the mediation amount of 100,000 pounds sterling, Huai remained expressionless. 500,000. The compensation changed from 100,000 pounds sterling to 500,000 pounds sterling, directly increasing fivefold. At these words, George's breathing unconsciously became rapid. 500,000 pounds sterling was a huge sum of money. Converted into Huai currency, it was more than 5 million. Many people could never earn that much in their entire lives. George really wanted to agree, but held back again. He knew that as long as he didn't agree, he had a chance to get more. If he couldn't, at worst he would go back to the original terms. A disdainful expression appeared on his face again. 500,000. Is that a lot? I said it before, I'm not short of money. As his words fell, Fang revealed an admiring expression, unmoved in the face of the temptation of money, asking only for justice. A man like that was just too charming. The two police officers were a little speechless. They could tell that George had only suffered a superficial injury. But Huai was lavish with his money and actually offered 500,000 pounds in compensation. Hearing George's reaction, Huai still said calmly, 5 million. 5 million. When George heard this number, he almost fainted from happiness. 5 million pounds. He couldn't earn that much money in his entire life. After leeching off Fang for so long, he had only gotten less than 20,000 pounds out of her.